Hello everyone, Jamarcus here, and I am here with quarterfinals of DDL, one of the more important draft games that I have played. If I lose them out, obviously it's playoffs, but starting in semifinals, it is double elim. So if I win this game, I can breathe a little bit, I can afford to lose once and still be in playoffs. But it's a win and in, so it's an important game here. I'm facing Lou, who I've played once like a year ago. Um, so generally not very familiar with his team building or play style. I did a couple mocks. I'm pretty happy with the team I'm bringing. Probably could have put in more time, but we'll see. As for the team I'm bringing, I am a Scarf Val. I am a lead Scarf Victini with a V Create. I'm a support Glamora that gets totally revealed. I'm an offensive Treads, offensive Sinistra Terra Fairy to help for the Roaring Moon, and a Latias. I'm leading Victini always. There's a few things on the bench that make Victini a bit of a harder lead. One of them being using Galar. Just 1 second here. Sorry, I had to turn the music down. I'll turn it back up for you though. One of being Wheezing Galar. Obviously, I can kill with fighting move, but if it's Viz Def, it can actually take a V Create. Alright, so that's one annoying thing. And it's also just hard to click V Create when there's a Rotom. So getting this dead is nice. It's mostly nice killing this for Iron Treads, because look at the team, look at Iron Treads. Earthquake hits the team really hard. I mean, Cloister being here kind of sucks. I was more so expecting Wheezing Galar in that slot, but there's also a Mega Bayonet on the bench, which I'm really glad is not here. I don't have to worry about any immunities to the Final Gambit. All that to say, I do just click this. This happened in like 2 turns. I clicked Final Gambit immediately, and my opponent also clicked a move quite quickly. I go Glim. This was always the plan, to go Glim right after going Victini. My opponent actually goes Cloister, which was surprising to me because I'm assuming, okay, this is probably just Shell Smash. It's Terra, Terra Water, and then Terra Grass on the Iron Moth. So this surprised me because I'm thinking, okay, what do you even set up in front of? Like, maybe they thought I would go Treads. Um, but like everything else on my team kind of just like kills you because I saw special attackers. So I guess they were just like hard reading the Treads coming out. But yeah, I go Glim. I'm Air Balloon. One thing I was thinking about, okay, if this is Scarf Cloister, super random set, but if they're Terra Water, they can just kill me. But if they're Scarf, that means I can just go into Sinistra after and get a like setup on them. So I thought that would put me in a good spot. So even if they are Scarf, it's okay. I do just click Toxic here. If they Shell Smash, they're Toxic. And I can still Revenge Kill with Scarf Val because Scarf Val is faster than +2 Cloister. I do, yeah, I think I'll be totally safe in front of it. I click Toxic because I think Metagross is a very reasonable switch into Glamora. So I do just click Toxic, and that is what happens. I'm Corrosion, obviously. I didn't want to bring T-Spikes. I figured Moth is definitely showing up, and there's also a Wheezing, which might not be Levitate, so I didn't think Toxic Debris was very helpful at all. Whereas there was another Steel type in Gudra Hisui on the bench, so getting a Toxic on these Steel types to help Scarf Moonblast win late game is going to be really helpful. Alright, Spiky Shield. I figured they probably aren't clicking Rocks this turn. So I just click Spiky Shield and they click Heavy Slam, which is great for me. This turn I think I set up my own rocks, expecting to just die to Heavy Slam. But they actually switch into Lana, which is great for me. So I get up my rocks, and I still get an extra turn. I just click Power Gem, because I didn't want this to be some kind of sub-SD Lando. And if I click Toxic into it as it subs, assuming it's faster, then it gets a Swords Dance, can knock off into Earthquake to kill me. Just puts me in a not so great spot. So I just Power Gem spam. Nothing on the team really loves taking it. I want chip on this Metagross, so if they come in and take 10 or 15% and rocks and toxic, that's great for me. So I do just click Power Gem. And they do U-turn to break the balloon and go into Metagross. Not too surprising. 12% tells me that they are likely Assault Vest. They could be Max Spadef, but like Assault Vest is much more realistic. And this turn I could click Spiky Shield, which seems like a super obvious play with no drawback, because I know they're Assault Vest, they're not gonna get rocks on me. I can really just click Spiky Shield to get extra chip. But my thing is, okay, the next turn, Glamour's just gonna die. I'm gonna go into Sinistra and Shadow Ball and get a kill. So whether this thing's at 50% or 20% doesn't make a difference. I'm getting a kill anyways. I guess there's an argument for, okay, they could save it and have more health left. Maybe I'd rather just get this killed so there's no bullet punch late game for Iron Val. But I wanted to consider the Lando switch as I click Spiky Shield. So I actually just click Power Gem this turn in case Lando came in. Because I figured either way, this Metagross is probably getting sacked. Uh, so I just go Sinistra and click Shadow Ball. I have quite a bit of speed on my Sinistra, so I'm pretty comfortably going to be faster than this Metagross from what I can tell. I think their max HP Assault Vest, and I don't know how much attack they have, but I don't think they're going to be overly fast. So I just click Shadow Ball, get a kill. There's really no switch or counterplay my opponent can make there. If they go Hard Moth, they're getting 2 KO'd. If they go Moon, I just Terra Fairy, Terra Blast, which maybe you can go into Moth on that and then Sludge Wave kill me, but that's a lot of switching around, taking rocks. So Shadow Ball's a really safe play for me to get there. And then like Lando comes in, which is really surprising. I thought Moth was pretty much the only play my opponent could make, but they go Lando. I'm just totally going to take my damage with Shadow Ball. One Shadow Ball and this thing's in range of Moonblast. I am a very offensive Sinistra. So Shadow Ball does 57%. And then I was scared of Earthquake here. But I figured just clicking Shadow Ball again is the play. They get up rocks, which is a little annoying. I can spin them away, but I don't think Treads is going to have a very great entry point at this point in the game. It's gonna be unable to kill Moon, although maybe Earthquake kills, so then booster attack. But yeah, it just kind of set up fodder for the 2 physical attackers, and then Moth just kills it. So I think quite a while for this turn here. Because Scarf Moonblast is looking really great. If I can force this Moth to Terra Grass, Moonblast was pretty solid damage, but close combat actually can be a roll to kill depending on their bulk. They are at boots though, which is good to note. So I don't need to be worried of any choice to set like Okoing. I mean, even choice Dazzlingly won't Oko Ladia. So even if they get a Fiery Dance boost here, like I can go Lati, get a Draco off, which will put it in range of Val. My biggest concern here is agility. If I go to sack Treads here, which is what I end up doing, and I click agility, it is terrible for me. It'll depend on what moves they have. Given that I have a Glamora, they're really pressured to bring Psychic. It's really the only move Moth has to hit me. They also want Dazzling Gleam for Lati. And they also want Sludge Wave to hit Victini neutrally, or else I'm kind of resisting everything. So then they have agility, but they're Terra Grass, so I think they probably have Energy Ball. So I think they're going to struggle to have all the coverage they need to win the game if they are agility. And that's the reason I switched to Treads, because I named Dazzling Gleam, I named Psychic, I named Sludge Wave, and Agility. That means they have no fire move. I can go Treads. Obviously, I didn't predict them having no fire move. I thought they might be lacking another kind of coverage. Maybe they didn't have Dazzling Gleam for Lati, or they didn't have Sludge Wave for my Sinistra. I was very much considering staying in and just hoping they don't have Sludge Wave. Because if I go into Treads and they have, Dazzling Gleam, Fiery Dance, Sludge Wave, and they drop Psychic and just don't respect the Glamora, I might just lose the game if they click Agility here. So I thought about staying in to prevent the Agility, or at least get some damage on them, but I don't. I go Treads, figuring they probably aren't going to be Agility on a boot set. I go into Treads and they click Sludge Wave. Great. Best case scenario, doesn't really matter, I'm just dying to fire move the next turn anyways. But then the whole idea with this angle is I go into Val. They are very much pressured to click Terra Grass because Psychic move would just kill, I think. And then I can go into Lati, which would be a speed tie, but because I am max speed. But they can't kill me with anything, and then Draco would kill them. And then I can win the game with Sinistra because Sinistra beats the last 2. That's the idea. What ends up happening actually is my treads is faster than this moth. They actually only ran enough speed on their moth for my Glamora. They wanted to run modest. So treads ended up being faster because I'm running enough speed on my treads for Lando. So it was very close. If they had maybe 40 more EVs in speed, they would have been faster there. But anyways, I got a kill. In comes Cloister. I'm not very worried about this thing at all. Um, Worst case scenario, they're like Salic, and then at +3 speed, they're faster than Val. But I also just have Vacuum Wave. So if they're Salic, that means I'm getting a hit in here, and they're always getting put in range of Vacuum Wave. Or they get like 2 Shell Smashers, and then Ice Charge kills Val somehow. A couple things that could go wrong, but generally, really good position for me. I stay in just to Earthquake. I don't really have another play, I don't think. I could have spun the rocks away, but I think the extra damage is worth it. They do Shell Smash. And I just sack here. I go into Val for what I assume is going to be a Moonblast sweep. They end up clicking Endure. So they are some kind of berry. But we don't see that berry. So very obviously going to be a Custat berry coming out here. I go into Lottie, the least valuable Pokemon right now. I think I realistically could have sacked either Pokemon. Although sacking Lottie's a little safer just because Sinistra's more consistently beating Moon. Lottie goes down. And now I can go into Iron Valiant now that the Custat Berry's burned and just win the game with Moonblast. There is an out for my opponent. It's if they're Scarf and they get a whole bunch of Iron Head flinches. Iron Head will not OHKO either of my Pokemon. I think it'll 2-hit KO both of them though. So they would have to get 2 Iron Head flinches and be Scarf. They are Scarf, they click Iron Head, but they do not kill. So I end up taking the game. Really quick one. I'm pretty happy with how I played. Glamora did so much work this game. Very happy with how it did. It felt like it's not been very good all season, but it really showed its worth today. And then the final game, but just getting rid of Rotom immediately. Didn't feel like it did that much, but it would have helped in some scenarios where Treads got like a speed boost, and they don't really have a whole lot to revenge kill me with. Sinistra, just spam Shadow Ball the whole time. That was what I was expecting this game. I only really had Terra Fairy to threaten the moon, whereas otherwise I'm kind of walled. That is the game. We're on to semifinals. I face Maki, who's someone I've faced a couple times before. I faced her last season, but I did not face her in the regular season, which is great. So it's not a rematch for semifinals. Obviously hoping to win, but if I lose, it's not the end of the world. I'm still on loser's side. That just means I have to win out. But if I can stay on winner's side until grand finals, that would be great, because it means I have to face, or I have to lose twice that matchup to be knocked out. But I only have to win once. So it allows me to pull off some riskier or more gimmicky strategies. And if it doesn't work, I can bring a more consistent team the next time. But I don't even know if that's the angle I want to take. I also don't even know if I'm making it there. So that is for the coming weeks to decide. GG's, Lou. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.